So you want to get into modding. Cool, it's a great way to add your own twist to your favorite games. The definition of modding is to make modifications to or to modify. So yes, texture packs are technically mods, and a lot of Skyrim mods are just that, textures and model replacements. You don't really even have to know a lot about programming to mod games. With that being said, should you choose to mod games? Well, I've been modding games like Minecraft for over 5 years now, and in this past year, I've gotten a chance to mod other games like Stardew Valley and Raft. So let me tell you about my experiences with the good and bad of modding and help you make that choice. To start off, every game is moddable. The only question is how hard it will be and how much time you want to spend doing it. Games that I've worked with like Minecraft, Raft, and Stardew Valley have decent followings, each having their own modding community and some sort of mod loader or API. These games are the easiest to get started in because there are examples of how to make a mod and others that are usually willing to help you out. On the other end of the spectrum are games that basically have none of this. The game Slapshot had a small following and known asset modding of textures, sounds, and game assets, but I actually took it a step further and modded the game's source code to add in this goal light that turns on when you score a goal. When I did this, there was no mod loader, no documentation, no nothing. As far as I know, I was the only one to mod the game in this way. Simply put though, if you want to have a more successful time adding in what you want and modding a game, you're best off picking one that has a modding community. The next thing to look into is a modding platform. Minecraft is a game written in Java, thus mods are also written in Java. Raft and Stardew Valley are both C#, but Minecraft also offers JSON-based data packs that can be used to mod the game, so there are lots of different platforms for modding out there. So let's say you found a game with a modding community in a language you know or want to learn and are ready to start modding. What can you expect next? Well, honestly, I can't tell you because every game and environment is different, so instead I'll explore what I've seen and the good and bad things I've dealt with. The first thing that makes my life way easier in modding a game is uniformity in some sort of registry or manager when it comes to in-game objects like items and entities. This is one of the best things that Minecraft and its modding API Forge do. Items, entities, potion effects, blocks, basically everything you could need to access are all in registries. Best yet, modded versions also live in these registries and are accessible, yet distinguished to allow for easy integrations and compatibility. Raft is a similar system for its items, although I don't know if it handles modded items in the same way, and their weather system is a decent manager with enums for each weather type. Raft, however, fails this uniformity when it comes to entities. When spawning an entity in, all entities utilize this one method, unless that entity is a seagull, in which case it doesn't work. In fact, I have no idea how to spawn a seagull in the game yet. If you even look at the game's actual code, you'll see that the shark and seagull entities have their own methods for spawning them in, which is fine if they're just adding a little extra to the normal spawn process, but the fact that there is no universal standard for each one is the issue. It's these nuances that make modding hard, having to make special cases and know how to correctly interact with each object instance individually instead of just knowing broad commonalities. If you want to look at a game though that has almost none of this, well, let me talk about Stardew Valley for a second. I actually went on a small rant about this in a previous live stream of mine.
Alright, can we talk, come on. Can we talk a second on how they're mixing snake case and camel case in these? And they're mixing it in the same time. Oh, alright. I can forgive mixing it for different files, because you can change, like, your like, what your pattern over time. We should update, but, like, I'll forgive that. It's still bad. But mixing it in a single name? No. What is this method? Placement action. Also, this is gross. It does a switch and this just handles every object? Like, this method alone easily could be made better by just taking this and chucking it into its respective object classes. Let polymorphism do the work for you.
I could go on about all the things that just put me off with Stardew Valley modding, but that's a whole nother video. Stardew Valley does do some things well. It's not all that bad. The game's source isn't obfuscated, so getting started is much easier, and it also allows mods to potentially work cross-version if the code they touch doesn't change. Having the game's dev team respect and acknowledge modding is also very helpful when it comes to modding, as it at least helps to know that they are aware of the community and are least likely to screw us all over as modders. Beyond the code though, the overall flow of developing a mod plays a big part. If the environment setup, debug process, and or build times are not relatively quick and intuitive, it can be a major turnoff for most people. Luckily, the 3 games I've modded haven't been too bad with this. Minecraft Forge has a bit of an initial learning curve if you have never worked with Gradle before, but the sheer amount of examples, documentation, and help more than offset this, and Gradle in itself streamlines this whole process very nicely. The Raft mod loader setting up a new project is very easy, and while the single C# file of a mod is a bit weird and I'm not sure if multiple files is supported, it does make testing and building a breeze. Lastly, Stardew Valley does have a lengthy initial setup, but beyond that, it wasn't overly difficult. Debugging, on the other hand, is left to be desired with no true debug mode that allows you to run the code and refer to the source code at the same time. C# building can also be a pain if you're doing anything beyond just building the mod, but for most people, this won't be an issue. Now, to be clear, this video isn't meant to be a rant of any sort or a bash during these games or modding platforms. You're gonna get a lot of different perspectives and opinions on these games and mods, and this is just simply my take. Overall, modding is definitely a fun way to learn and expand upon your initial programming skills, as well as to do something fun and to add your own creative touches to your favorite games. If there's anything you're going to take away from this, it's that modding is never as straightforward as you'll want it to be, and it will often take some creative thinking to do some things that may seem very simple. Just remember to have fun, learn, and always push the limits of your game and platform. I would like to thank Dark Hacks for helping provide ideas and reviewing this video, as well as Dark Coaster for allowing me to use clips from his stream. Links to both of them are in the description below. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys all next time. Peace out.